I posted a video about stealthing, Stealing. Google it. I don't want this video to be flagged, so please Google it. I'm not going to go into an explanation about it, but I posted a video about it yesterday morning, I believe. And I had so many women who commented and said, well, something like that won't happen to me because sex is for marriage. Something like that will happen to me because I'm waiting for marriage. And I just want to share this with you guys real quick. Number one, I worked at a makeup store several years ago. And I can't remember if it was a nurse who worked in a gynecologist's office or a gynecologist. But I forgot how the conversation got started. But she shared that she gives the most bad news about STDs, whether curable or incurable, to married women. Because you think you're in a committed relationship, you don't think you need to use protection, right? Because your union's blessed by God or whatever thing you believe, whether it's religion or patriarchy, you think that you saving yourself for marriage is going to automatically spare you from the things that I talked about in that video. In that same conversation, my coworker shared that her best friend years before had passed away because she contracted HIV, which turned into AIDS, from her husband. Not a one-night stand, not a boyfriend, her husband. And I know a lot of you are going to gaslight yourselves because you don't want to hear the truth, and you're going to probably say, well, they probably showed signs of cheating. Well, it's not always cut and dry like you see in the Lifetime movies where the woman is blessed with clear signs that her man is cheating. It doesn't always look like that. Sometimes you literally just don't know. There was a woman on TikTok. She posted a video, I think last year, where she said, my husband will never cheat on me because he's always home and he's a nerd. And then she came back on the app several months later, shared that clip and said he cheated. Her man that she never thought would. Somebody else on the app contracted HIV from her husband. So when y'all put these judgmental ass comments in my videos, you look dumb. I might look young, depending on who you ask, but I wasn't born yesterday. The stuff that I talk about is because I've been around women who share these stories with me, medical professionals who share these stories from me, religious people, just like you, who share these stories with me. The funny thing about patriarchy is none of us are marked safe. The women who are out in these streets having a good old time, the women in relationships, the women who are engaged, the women who are married, the women who are in bad marriages, the women in good marriages. And if you're sitting there patting yourself on the back because you think you're doing something right, patriarchy has a funny way of making you think it's rewarding you for behaving and then being like, just kidding, I had you tricked. I also want to make this clear, and I've said it before, this is not a religious page. This is not a conservative page. This is not a page where you come on here and you judge people and you look down on other people and you look down on women who have had the misfortune of dealing with an idiot and say, well, I'm not going to be like her because I would never do this, I would never do that, I would never do this. This ain't the page for you, honey. Go somewhere else with that shit. This ain't it. And when I spoke with that doctor in that same conversation, she said, everybody thinks it's the women who are having one-night stands or who are promiscuous, but those women are more likely to protect themselves and get tested and wear protection. The women who are married, they believe they can trust their partner, and you should be able to trust your partner, but unfortunately, as she has seen time and time again over the years in her practice, That's not really the case. If you think that you're doing anything that marks you safe, you're playing yourself. Does your risk go down the less partners you have? It most certainly does. Would it make sense to wait for marriage? It most certainly does. But it only takes one person to change your life in a negative way. One person, one time. Your husband, your boyfriend. So you might think, oh, I'm saving myself for my husband. I'm saving myself. It could be him. So take that judgmental shit somewhere else. Get out of my comment section because I block y'all every single time. STDs are not some punishment for being a bad woman or for being promiscuous. Sometimes in life, shit just happens to people. And on my page, we don't judge women, and we're compassionate, and we're supportive. Now, I will say I don't support all women because some of y'all, as I'm stating in this video, are judgmental. Y'all go over there with that.